Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I've got a yoga mat. If you don't have one, just find some place in your house that's got carpeting. Maybe you have a sturdy rug that can act as your yoga mat for today. I just don't want you to trip or have it slip out from underneath you. So nothing too slick, nothing too hard. A little padding is a nice thing, and that will act as your yoga mat for today. I've got 2 yoga blocks. A great substitute is 2 thick books. And a folded blanket, which is as simple as a beach towel, bath towel, the throw blanket from your couch. Once you've got those, we'll start in a child's pose, and I want to walk us through various options in child's pose. Oftentimes you will hear people say, sink your hips toward your heels, a little bit like I'm sitting right now. But not for all of us does that feel great for our knees. You can pad your knees with your blanket, that's one thing. And also, too much bend is often a problem. So you could try it, curling your toes under, and then maybe you take one of your books or blocks, put that in front of you. So you've got something to aim for. Your forehead can come down, it may not make it to the floor, that's fine. You could stack a couple of those. Your arms can support you a bit, and then just find a place where it feels like a nice little inward turn, but not something that's sharp pain on your knees. And it's a place that we stop so that we can start. Maybe it's okay to sink your hips towards your heels too. I don't mean to eliminate that as an option. Here in our little cocoon of child's pose, let the arrows of attention turn inward, and another tool for that is pay close attention to your breath. If it's possible, the inhales and the exhales are through your nose, but mostly I just want you to really notice your breathing. It's something that we do automatically, but not very frequently do we really pay attention to it. And when we do, it can help calm us. It can help us balance our nervous system, get better oxygen flow through our bodies, all kinds of things. So let's get a little excited about that for a moment. And then climb up and slide your block off to the side if in fact you were using your block. Slither all the way onto your belly. Once we're on our belly, use your mat maybe as a guide. Forearms parallel to the long edges of your mat. And then instead of collapsing in between our shoulders, which might be happening right now, press into your forearms. It's like an elevator going up. And then traction your elbows towards you. You're not actually going to move your elbows, but your chest will move through the gateway of those arms. Press into the tops of your feet so your kneecaps lift off your mat. So you're activating your legs as we find a little bit of a back bend here in our Sphinx. And lastly, just make sure that you're not trying to do your back bend with your neck. Let your neck stay out of it, so let it just stay neutral while we're here. Lower down, slide your hands down next to your ribs. And instead of winging your elbows out to the side, let them come as if they're just going to kiss your ribs. So let them come close to you. You're not trying to pin anything anywhere. And then traction your hands, activate your legs, let your chin stay parallel to the ground, and here we are in a cobra pose. When we start to flow, I'll give you the option of this cobra or the Sphinx that we just did. Lower down. If your hands are not next to your floating ribs, bring them next to your ribs. Curl your toes under. In one piece, we'll come to all fours, and that's going to take a little bit of core work. So oomph into your arms, we come to all fours. Here as well, there's no collapse. You can try that on for size so that we don't do it. Push the ground away. As you push the ground away, you might feel your front body, your core, which is actually 360 degrees, but especially the serratus anterior muscles that are like fingers on your ribs are also involved in keeping this structure. Now, let your hips lift as if they could make their way to the wall and the ceiling, like that little corner where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then oomph into your arms, come up into down dog, step your feet as wide as your mat, bend your knees, push into your arms until you feel yourself get longer in your back body, in your side body, in your front body. So we're prioritizing our trunk. Walk your feet forward to your hands. Arrive at that front edge, hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up. Inhale. Glide your hands down. Exhale. Then inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and we'll pause with our arms along our sides and our palms facing out. This is not just a flick of our wrist. This is a swoop that brings that turning of our palms out from our shoulders. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips. There's a bend to your knees. Take your hands to your thighs. Use your hands on your thighs, and there's almost like a Sphinx pose has come to find us here. Keep that, lengthen your spine, maybe venture your hands down towards your shins, even towards your ankles, but it's not a collapse and a rounding as we do that. And then we'll glide them back up, remind ourselves of that space and length, and bend our knees as we fold and place our palms completely flat on the ground. Step back to down dog, and as you do, press into your arms. Feel that front body, side body, back body length. And imagine circles on your palms, and the full circle is pressing into your mat, into the ground. Your feet can be as wide as your mat again if you want, or move them towards hip distance. Shift it into a plank. Shoulders over your wrists. We're not collapsed in our shoulders. Plant your knees down a bit further back than hands and knees, so we're in a modified plank, and then recheck that there's no collapse. Slowly lower to your belly. You're pushing the ground away the whole way down. Uncurl your toes, either cobra pose or Sphinx pose. This is that option I promised was coming. Lower down. Curl your toes under. In one chunk, we come to all fours, and then let your hips lift you up and back into down dog. Remember, front body, back body, side body long. Walk your feet forward to your hands. We arrive hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up. Inhale. Glide your hands down. Exhale. And then we inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, a V, and we stand with our palms facing out. Let's flow. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Glide your hands up. Fold in, palms flat. Use the strength of your arms. Really press into your arms until it inspires your whole spine. Come to a plank. We're still in our arms here as we push the ground away. Let your knees come down and lower slowly all the way to your belly. Once you're on your belly, uncurl your toes for either a cobra pose or a Sphinx pose. Lower down, curl your toes under. Once again, we're going to use the strength of our arms as we come onto all fours. And then the hook in our tailbone lifts us up and back and into downward facing dog. Now we'll once again shift our shoulders over our wrists. We're focused a little bit on our arms here. Bring your knees down, and now carefully bring your forearms down. Like when we did our Sphinx pose, wander your knees back into what feels like the modified plank that we did, but now it happens to be on our forearms. I remind you, there's not a collision of shoulder blades towards each other. There's a commitment to karate chopping into the ground and using our arms quite strong. This is a lot on our knees here. You might take your knees off your mat. Oh my goodness. Be careful what you wish for. 3 moments. You can keep your knees down the whole time. Bring your knees down, lower into Sphinx. We were here together not so long ago. And let's let this be a little counter pose to that arm action. We're dragging our elbows towards us, and we are actually letting the shoulder blades now move towards one another, which is about to change as we curl our toes under, oomph into our arms, and lift our chest, our belly, our hips, our thighs. Our knees are down like when we had a chat earlier and we did this. You can stay here. You can lift your knees. 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees back down, carefully lower thighs, hips, belly. Slide your hands back now. Remember, elbows are not winging out to the side. We'll need to recurl our toes under so that we can use the strength of our arms and our core to come to all fours. And then from there, the hook in our tailbone takes us to down dog. Walk your feet to your hands, arrive hip distance and parallel, slide your hands up, inhale, glide your hands down, exhale. Inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we stand with our palms facing out, but that's happening from the wholeness of our arm positioning. We'll step wide, and as we do, let's take our blocks with us. So we'll stack our books or blocks off the long edge of our mat so that the opposite long edge now becomes essentially the front edge of our mat. Take your arms out wide to the side, thumbs to the sky. As we step it wide, aim essentially ankles underneath wrists. That's a good place, at least for us to start, and then turn your heels in and your toes out. First, let's just try the lower body portion of the program. So bend your knees, and we don't want it to be that our knees are super forward of our ankles, so you might need more space there, and then just straighten your legs and lower your arms. Right arm out to the side, actually like a V shape, thumb to the sky. Pat yourself on the back with that right hand. Take your left arm out to the side and turn that left thumb to face down. Place the back of your left hand to the small of your back. That's a lot, right? Our arms are doing exactly opposite actions on either side of our bodies. You might walk your two hands towards each other. Maybe they connect. Often they don't. You can use your shirt as something to hang on to, or just leave them be on their way, and then bend your knees. And here we are in an arm positioning that is a challenge and a leg positioning that will become a little bit challenging as we hang out in it. I want to make sure that you're not collapsing or wringing that elbow out to the side. As best you can is up to the sky. And there's not struggle, but there's sensation. 3 moments. Straighten your legs. And as you do, gently release your arms. And then we will take our left arm at a diagonal, so thumb to the sky. Then pat yourself on the back with that left hand. Right arm out to the side, thumb faces down. Back of your right hand to the small of your back. Maybe the hands move towards each other a little bit more. We'll bend our knees, and voila, side 2. Our arms doing completely opposite actions on 2 sides of our bodies, which is great for our arms and for our brains. 3 moments here. Straighten your legs. Slowly release your arms. Turn your toes forward. Heel toe for a moment. Wander your way to the front edge of your mat. Feet are hip distance and parallel. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Slide your hands down as we exhale. Plant your hands. Let's be very arm conscious here. Step back into your downward facing dog. Now just be careful with this as we play with some arm stuff. Like I said, we're pretty arm intensive today. So you're going to shift towards a plank, but come to the outside of your right foot and inside of your left foot, and carefully take your left arm to the sky or your left hand on your hip, a side plank, then bring that left hand down and bring yourself to down dog. It's a lot. You can bring your knees down and do a child's pose and give your arms a break. Shift it towards a plank, and now come to the outside of your left foot, inside of your right foot. You can take your right hand onto your hip, maybe right arm up to the sky. You got to oomph into that left arm a lot. Unwind and make it downward facing dog, and then walk your hands to your feet. You're walking backwards. Bend your knees a ton. Slide your hands beneath your feet so your wrists get a break from that. You can let your head relax, and we pause here. We'll be doing that one more time. Slide your hands out. Carefully walk yourself into downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, I remind you, you can always take breaks and stay in child's pose. Come towards a plank position, and then outside of right foot, inside of left foot, right hand is down, left hand can go on your hip, or left hand floats up, and then unravel yourself into down dog or take a child's pose. One more time, shift it to plank, this time outside of left foot, inside of right foot. Right hand on your hip maybe, right arm up to the sky if it makes sense, and then carefully dismount into down dog. From down dog, walk yourself forward, feet to your hands. We arrive hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Glide your hands down, exhale. We inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, a V, and then our arms float along our sides, palms facing out. Stepping wide again. Extend your arms, get your sort of foundational ankles under wrists beginning of alignment. Turn this right leg out and cheat your left heel at a 45-degree angle. We will bend our front knee, and I just want us to make sure that we've got that nice vertical line from our knee to our ankle. Straighten your front leg, lower your arms. We'll weave together a few poses that we have done into first our warrior two. So bend that right knee, pat yourself on the back with your right hand, turn your left thumb to face down, back of your left hand to the small of your back. Maybe those two hands move towards each other a little bit. Just do the best that you can. Don't try to struggle your hands to meet up behind you. It's all good where we are. Unwind your arms wide out to the side. Straighten your right leg. This is not a side bend. It's a trikonasana. It's a triangle. So hinge at this hip. Reach way out with your right hand and land your right hand on your block outside of your right foot. If you think about it, it looks a little bit like the side plank that we did, right? It might feel better to you to keep your left hand on your hip, or even back of your left hand to the small of your back. Could happen here. We'll soak in this stretch for 3 moments. Now take a look down and bend your right knee, and you may need more space to maintain that vertical line from your right knee to your right ankle. Side angle pose. This looks and feels a little bit like our side plank as well, wouldn't you say? 2 moments here. Remember, option to put your hand on your hip or lower that arm if it's getting tired. Look down at your right foot. Move your block away, come upright into warrior two, and then we straighten that front leg and lower our arms, and all toes face the long edge of our mat. Turn your left leg out. Your left foot is facing the short edge of your mat, and then we cheat our right heel at a 45-degree angle. Always a good idea to just check it out. Bend your front knee, make sure left ankle, left knee, vertical line. Lower your arms as we straighten our leg and set up. Left arm pats you on the back, right back of the hand to the small of your back. We'll bend our front knee and come into warrior two. Your hands might move a little closer to each other back behind you, but that's not a goal really. We just want to see if we can keep that brain food of opposite arms doing opposite things on opposite sides of our bodies. 3 moments here. And then we straighten our front leg, release our arms wide. Remember, hinge at our hip. So a hinge at that left hip as you reach out with your left hand for your block. And then you could keep your right arm up to the sky. You can take your right hand behind your back. We want to have a little micro bend potentially in that front leg. So press your left big toe mound into your mat. Notice that this has got a little bit of the wingspan of our side plank, and then a few silent moments to stretch here. Take a look down, bend your left knee. Make sure that there's space for that to be vertical, so you could scoot your back foot back a little bit, and always have the option of your right hand on your hip or back of your right hand to the small of your back. This too, a little bit like our side plank, if you think about it. 3 moments. Look at your left foot. So you can scoot that prop out of your way as you come through a warrior two, and then we straighten that front leg, turn all of our toes to face the long edge of our mat. Interlace your hands behind your back, lift your heart, and then you can bend your knees as much as you'd like, but we spill our arms up and over, and let A lot of arm work we've done today. Release a little bit here. Bring your hands on your hips, firm your belly, bend your knees a bit, come all the way upright. Then we heel toe, heel toe. Wander up to the front edge of your mat. Feet are hip distance and parallel. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, maybe shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale. Palms need to be flat. Let's use our arm strength to push us back into down dog. Continue to use your arm strength as you come into a plank and let your knees come to your mat. Lower all the way down onto your belly. This time uncurl your toes and interlace your hands behind your back like we did in our forward fold. Relace it so the other pinky goes on the bottom. Drag your knuckles behind you, press into the tops of your feet. Maybe even let your legs come off your mat. If that's a pinch in your low back, keep your feet pressing down into the ground. No problem there. 3 moments. Release it down, hands next to your ribs. Curl your toes under in one chunk. Use your arm strength. Come onto all fours, and from all fours we make our way to seated in a cross-legged position. I am going to sit on my folded blanket. You might join me and do the same, or sit on a cushion or on your block. We'll cross our legs with our right shin in front, and I want you to walk your feet so that they land underneath your knees. So it's not a crossing at the ankles kind of deal. You're going to cross them a little bit more, and as a result, we'll get a bit more of a stretch in our glutes and in our hips, which we would like. Now, while we're here, pat yourself on the back with your right hand, left arm out to the side, back of your hand. Maybe those two hands move towards each other. Here we are, familiar arm position, new position. Undo your arms out to the side, and then take your arms in front of you like you're going to give someone a hug. And actually that someone is you. Cross your right elbow over your left elbow and give yourself a hug here. That's plenty. Maybe you can, with your elbows crossed, bring your forearms towards each other. You might even place your palms together. Stop anywhere along our journey to what's called eagle arms, and then lift your elbows up a little bit and move your hands away from your face a little bit. And just pause here. Unwind, take a straight right arm across your body, and then use your left elbow to kind of grab that arm and help it along. So you'll likely feel a stretch here in that deltoid shoulder area. Some of all the the arm things that we've been up to today, you might be feeling a bit also. If not right now, I'm thinking tomorrow or the next day, you might be feeling them. You will feel well armed. Release and lean back so we can waggle our legs out in front of us and switch the cross. Now it's left shin in front of right shin, and I remind you we've got a nice deep cross. And once you're situated, left arm up to the sky, pat yourself on the back with that left hand, right arm out to the side, your thumb is facing down, back of your right hand to the small of your back. Those two can walk a little bit towards each other, and then let's pause a moment. Gently release your arms wide out to the side, and then you reach forward like you're going to hug someone, and that someone is you. Left elbow on top. This is great. Forearms can try to meet up. Maybe you bring the palms of your hands together as well, or something that looks a little bit like that. It's on its way there. Elbows lift up, and then our hands move away from our face, and we take a few moments to feel this stretch in our arms. Unwind here, Left arm straight across your body. If it bends, you're not going to get the same stretch. Hook that arm with your right elbow. So left arm across your body as straight as you can make it, and then a couple moments to feel this stretch, likely in the top of that, like that deltoid cap. A couple moments. And then unwind or undo your arms and uncross your legs. Make your way to lying on your back, so props out of your way as we lie down. Once we lie down, shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you so you can feel those two move towards each other. I like to take my fingers to the sky, feet are hip distance and parallel, and then we'll lift our hips up. This is plenty, but you might add the interlace that we've done a couple of times. Snuggle your shoulder blades even further beneath you. Bridge pose however you choose to do it. Release it down, you'll undo your interlace. Scoot your hips to the right, let your knees drop to the left. If it feels good to you, cross your right knee over your left knee. Come to center. Scoot your hips to the left now. Let your knees drop to the right. Perhaps you cross your left knee over your right knee now. And then come back to center and spill yourself across the floor. You can keep your knees bent if that feels better to you, or both of your legs can straighten as we lie down in our rest and digest. Shavasana, final meditation. Stay here in your Shavasana final meditation as long as you'd like. If you're ready, gather your knees into your chest, roll carefully to either side, and then bring yourself up to any comfortable way to sit. You might return to our seated cross-legged position, and then place your hands on your heart. Let's pause a moment. I do hope that you feel well armed as you go about the rest of the day and into tomorrow. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to us doing this again together soon.